So tonight I wanted to wrap up the series on becoming a detective for your health, and with a real life example. So when I started this process 2.5 weeks ago, my diet has already been cleaned up a ton over the last 1.5 years of working with my naturopath with the autoimmune disease, taking out gluten, taking out sugar for the most part, taking out dairy for the most part, processed foods, that kind of stuff. But what I started doing 2.5 weeks ago, it's a little bit different. So it's lowering those carbs even more and being a little bit more strict on the sugar and dairy and inflammatory foods for me, and having more of the healthy fats. So that is where I am going with this experiment. But it's been really interesting that I have discovered, after 2 weeks of that, then you start experimenting. Oh dear, the sun. You start experimenting a little bit with adding some things back in to see how you are reacting to these foods, to see which foods you can bring back and which ones you have a reaction to. So again, it's all part of this becoming a detective series and process. So this week, then I started adding back some things, and so I started adding back minimal, but a little bit of cheese and a little bit of dairy this week. And the first day I was fine, so I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Second day I was fine, and I was like, oh, thank God, this is great. Third day I started, and it's not a lot of cheese and dairy. Hi Mom, I love you. Happy Mother's Day early. Anyway, so third day I have a little bit of cheese, a little bit of dairy, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of inflammation. And with that inflammation, I'm also starting to get the inner ear itch that I get, which, oh hi, Remy's gonna join us now too. So, oh geez, this is fun. Here's real life for you. Okay, here's real life. So we got Remy here supporting this whole situation. Okay, so third day, fourth day, I'm feeling some inflammation, and I am starting to feel that inner ear itch. So that was really interesting. So it's interesting in that discovery, and what's interesting to me is in working with my naturopath, she had given me the go-ahead to add back, but in limited quantities, hard cheeses, butter, and she even, was able to kind of pinpoint, like, probably only 2 times a week or 3 times a week, that kind of thing. And so I was testing some of that a little bit, and it's become true. So I will need to then limit my dairy intake, and limit to hard cheeses and grass-fed cow butter. I'm not saying that the right way, but Kerrygold butter. Just limited to a couple days a week is really apparently all that my body can handle. And I noticed that in weight fluctuations as well. So on the first 2 weeks with this diet, you lose a lot of inflammation. And so I lost like 5 inches and about 6 pounds. And that's just inflammation. And with the last 2 days, I have gained back a couple of those pounds and a little bit of that measurement as well. So it's just been a really fascinating discovery, and interesting to watch how these foods are really reacting to my body. So that is a real life example of what I've been talking about all week, about how to become a detective for your health and start to learn which foods are reacting to your body in negative ways, so that then you can make decisions. You can make decisions whether or not you want that reaction or not. And the truth of the matter is, I've spent most of my life dismissing how some of those foods make you feel, because as I talked back in the cleaning out your pipes blog, that my naturopath had told me this phrase that sticks with me, that if your pipes are full of sewage, you're not going to notice any additional sewage going into them. If your pipes are clean, you're going to notice any little bit of sewage going in. So anything that isn't reacting to your body well, you will feel it more once you clean yourself out first. So that's my real life example for tonight. Thanks so much for joining me and hopping on and saying hello. And I will come back on Monday with another topic. All right, have a great night. Bye.